game. It's a rich thing.
The following is a special presentation.
From the Captain Esports Network.
This isn't just a game, this is iRacing. Well, we've had a week that has separated round one of the playoffs for the GLSR Downrange Transport Premier Series. But tonight, after the week off, we are now ready to go in race number 2 of the playoffs. And it is at Kansas Speedway as we get ready for 200 miles of racing. The question tonight, who's going to put themselves in the playoffs and who might be on their way out and looking for a miracle to get in to the Final Four here in just a few weeks. I'm the captain. We welcome you in on this Wednesday evening. The GLSR Racing from Kansas Speedway, virtual on iRacing. Taking a look at the point standings. It's going to look a little different here, but I can explain it. Of course, you see it lined up by points right now, basically. And the way it is all lined up here, Sam Fontaine has actually moved on into the Final Four after his win at North Wilkesboro 2 weeks ago. But when it comes down to the points, you see Jonathan Tuckness up there, Stephen Miles, Diego Sainz, and those guys all there. And this, according to the page on the Discord for GLSR. It's kind of going off that, so hopefully this is the right one. Might not be, but you never know. But either way, got some racing to do coming up here very, very shortly in moments here at the Kansas Speedway, virtually on iRacing. Again, we appreciate everybody for joining us, and I'm actually just fact-checking myself to make sure everything does look okay. Yeah, that's the way it's all set up right now, so... but either way, Sam Fontaine moved on with the win, and now it's a matter of who is going to be the next person here tonight to put themselves into the Final Four race coming up here at Homestead Miami Speedway in just a couple of weeks as we pull up the schedule here and show you what it looks like right now. As you see, 4 more races to go tonight. Kansas Speedway, Darlington next week, Atlanta Motor Speedway, the old school edition on the 26th, and then Homestead on the 3rd of July. Will be the final race of the season here as we round up the Downrange Transport Premier Series here on the Captain Esports Network for season number 4. I had to remember off the top of my head here where we are. Right now it is time for Hot Laps, though. Of course, presented by Spicy Schemes, your chance, or the driver's chance, I should say, to get themselves a free paint scheme and a $5 bonus for getting the pole award here tonight. And, of course, that free paint scheme by winning the most poles this season, which has kind of been the Jonathan Tuckness show, to be honest with you. But obviously that could change here, as we still got a couple races left to decide who will get that stat when it is all over with here. As we look at it right now, Tuckness in the lead by 1 over Jason Dalton right now in the pole category. But again, still plenty of things, plenty of time to go here. Still got 3 races left. Anybody could work their way up to the top and be there when it is all said and done here this evening. As we look at Dalton Carter, the Talladega winner, out there on the track as he gets ready to put his first lap down in that Tillamook number 3 car. Of course, as they log their first lap times here, you'll see the scoring show up there at the top left corner. And you'll see once again here tonight, once we get in the race, the drivers that are in green, those guys will be in the playoffs. The rest of the drivers are not. As Cam Ingram, first one to put one on the board, 31-35. Diego Sainz has been pretty fast. Brandon Alfin, Tyler Brewer, so far 4 cars have put their laps up on the board here. As we watch the 3 car of Dalton Carter in his first playoff this season, of course, got in through the win at Talladega in the regular season, his first career victory. So Dalton, as people could call easily the underdog here, just trying to find a way to get in per points. But I think it's going to be 4 drivers getting in on wins when it's all said and done, because we do have that extra race in the playoffs here this season. And obviously anything could change. But Diego Sainz, that has not changed. He is up at the top at a 30-90. He's the fastest car by far as Fontaine. The North Wilkesboro winner goes up to P4. Cedric Ingram on track now. Here's Brandon Maciejewski, the 93 car. Top 4 separated by a little over 1/10 of a second right now. Peachin there second, Brandon Alfin in third. Peachin was fastest in practice, so that Spicy Schemes number 69 car has some pretty good speed in her. As here comes Maciejewski off turn 4 and coming across the line. And Brandon goes P9, 31-35. And of course the usual suspects waiting just a little bit longer for this track to cool down just a little bit and maybe get that spot out there on the track where they can lay down the fast lap here. As Dalton getting his car through 3 and 4, which is going to be the predominant way around the track, going to be the top side, but you will be able to utilize the bottom for a little bit and maybe even the middle, but you're going to want to be at the top eventually. 31-12 for the 2 cars. Tuckness goes to second. Strayer goes to third. Strayer going to be third right now altogether, as Tuckness still has a lap to go. Let's see what he can do here. As he brings it off turn 4, he's in the green, but can he get to the purple? As he crosses the line and does it, 30-87. And Jonathan Tuckness might be on his way to his 4th pole. But let's see what happens here, because now we got 4 cars coming on track in the last minute of qualifying here. Tyler Pluff, Dylan Rosenberg, Alex Bryson, Stephen Miles, the notorious ones to come out here in the last couple cars to get a lap in. As Rosenberg comes to the line, he's 14th. Tyler Pluff, 31-13 is P9. Miles goes to 4th with a 99. And Bryson with a 16. Miles might be on one here as he comes off turn 4. Got him. 30-86. And Stephen Miles might just end up being the pole sitter here. Oh, Tyler Pluff with an 83. And Tyler Pluff just won his first pole in GLSR with a lap of 30-83. And we'll get the pole with the Spicy Schemes Hot Lap. Congratulations to him on the little bonus there of $5 plus he'll be in the running if he can get 2 more poles, potentially, for a free paint scheme. Great lap there from all these guys. That was actually an entertaining qualifying session. All right, let's go trackside for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, back with you. So happens you try to do like 4 things at one time before you get the race started here. Starting lineup, Tyler Pluff on his first pole, 30.837 second lap. Stephen Miles will start on his outside. Tuckness and Signs there in row 2. Row 3 is where you see Jason Dalton and Lucas Strayer, Sean Peach and Brandon Alphin, Dylan Rosenberg, the first non-playoff driver, alongside Sam Fontaine, Alex Bryson, and Cam Ingram there in row number 6. Row 7 is Lana Soren Thornton, Cedric Ingram, Maciejewski, Dalton Carter, Tyler Brewer, Blaine Sparling. Your 19 starters. Race information, 134 laps, 72 degrees. As the pace car going to pull off, it is race number 2 for the Kansas Speedway. Click your heels and let's go racing. And let's see who can lock their way in as we go green. As Pluff takes him to turn number 1, and already it's like a lane switch here. Tuckness to the bottom, and he's going to clear through 1 and 2. Our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. And these guys come roaring off turn 4, the only newer surfaced 1.5 track that you will see in the playoffs this season. Jeremy Freer watching tonight. Brewer deciding not to race apparently. Or is he? He is racing. Never mind. 17th position. There he is. He's out there. As Tyler Pluff was able to get back past Tuckness, their lead lap number 2. So second lead change already here. The battle on for third is Jason Dalton underneath Sean Peachin. Dylan Rosenberg there, 5th position. As you see the cars already kind of moving around here from the bottom all the way to the top. That's what this track can do as it produces great racing. One of the better 1.5 tracks, if not the best 1.5 track now. We'll let that one be debated. As you see Peach in there, Dalton, Rosenberg, Diego Steins down there on the bottom right now. All about logging laps right now. 2-stop race, at least. If this were to go green all the way, but Pluff is running away after coming so close last week to winning his first career race at the North Wilkesboro Speedway and falling up just short. And actually spinning out with 3 laps to go. Tonight he is wanting it real bad. As you can tell in these first 4 laps, already an 8/10 of a second, 9/10 of a second lead over Tuckness right now. As mentioned, Peach in third, Dalton and Rosenberg. Got some cars falling back a little bit here, maybe saving some tires. Matter of fact, Stephen Miles, he's falling back 10 positions already here. As I mentioned before, the numbers in the green up there at the top, those are the playoff drivers. The numbers that are not in green, they are non-playoff drivers. That can help you in any way with seeing who is who out here on the track. Put it like this, the majority of the field are playoff drivers. You got, what, 19 started tonight? 12 of the 19, so 3/4 or 2/3, whatever you want to call that math, are playoff drivers. As Dalton looking topside here on the 94 of Tuckness. Jonathan got kind of caught out last week in that race at North Wilkesboro. By some strategy and stuff, and wasn't able to work his way toward the front. Got involved in a couple incidents, but in the end it was Sam Fontaine who just absolutely dominated. 145 laps I think it was led out of the 199 in that race, and putting himself officially in that final race to run for the championship at Homestead Miami here at the end of the season. Want to remind you, you can check out 4dracewear.com if you're looking for shoes or gloves that you can wear while you're out here on the sim running laps. You can do so right now, 4dracewear.com. And when I talk about shoes, I talk about shoes that are very comfortable for you, and you can walk around your house with them. Don't walk around outside, but walk around your house with them. And gloves that look just like the ones the drivers wear out there at the track. You can run them here on iRacing, and they're comfortable as mentioned. Check out 4dracewear.com. Pluff 1 second lead over Sean Peachin, who's got about 2/10 over Dalton, who's got 6/10 right now over Tuckness, and then it's back to Rosenberg, Sign, Fontaine, and these guys all right here. Appreciate the viewers who have come to join us here this evening in this 134 lap race. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, then obviously we appreciate you coming back. Fontaine up to the 6th position, up 4 positions. So is Rosenberg already early in this race. Jacob Thornton up to the top 10 already in that 42 car. He's up some spots. Sean Peachin up 5 already from the 7th spot up to P2. As I mentioned earlier, he was the fastest car in practice, and he is not holding back here. Up against the board, about a half lane off. Rosenberg starting to put the pressure on Tuckness, as you see Fontaine starting to come in the picture, and this is that part where you start getting tight, especially on entry. In turn 4, he can be very tricky with the transition out of the corner there from the 18, 19, and 20 degrees of progressive banking onto the straightaway there. You kind of come over the crest there, and that wall can reach out and grab you. You kind of do it right here in turn 2, and when it does, it's sticky. One thing, ever since this track came out, it's always been very sticky when you touch the wall. Something you do not want to do. Let's go back here as they're 3 wide battling. Alex Bryson coming through. Joey Lanosaur right there. Here comes the 93 of Maciejewski, squeeze in. Good job by everybody to sort their way through there. Laps complete already. As mentioned before, obviously the strategy gonna, I think, play a big role in this race. When to come get tires, because they do kind of get eaten up here a little bit, especially on that front side. That right front tire does take a little bit of a beating, depending on how hard you run it. One thing you could do is try to run the bottom one lap, come back to the top the next lap, and that kind of thing, and try to balance it, but it is so tough to do, especially as you pull up the weather. We started to show it earlier, right before they went green. But look right here, 86 degrees track temp, so overcast and cloudy, which allows grip, which means you wear the tires out. It's going to be definitely tricky out here on this mile and a half. So far, so good here, 16 laps in. You see Miles there in front of his teammate Bryson. Jacob Thornton right there with him also. As I think Rosenberg just kissed the wall going into 3. As Lucas Strayer to the inside of Cam Ingram. This is for the 7th position and given to the 41. Just seen that Brandon Alphin apparently had some kind of issues. He's ran 13 laps and has gone behind the wall. I'm not sure if he's had a connection issue or something happened. I would say yes, because he's only got to about 8. He's like 8/100ths of a lap away from finishing the 14th lap. And usually when you're at a number like that, 13.92, that usually tells me you got a connection issue or something, because that means you didn't finish that lap. Because even when you come down pit road with 20 people, you're pretty much going to all cross the start-finish line on pit road. So we'll have to check an update there on the Kentucky driver. As we check out the lead, there it is, Tyler Pluff, a half second now on Sean Peachin. Jason Dalton tucking this now up to 4th. Fontaine now up to 5th. As Rosenberg might have worn the tires off this thing. Sainz taking advantage of his teammate there. Going to go around the 5 on the outside lane. See, Rosenberg getting a little loose. I think that's part of that tightness. He's driving it, and he's a little low off the corner, in the middle of the corner, but he's putting a lot of wheel into it. And, of course, once those front tires finally grip, it brings the back end around. And right there, that transition can be a little tricky and get the car loose, but looked pretty smooth there for the 91, but definitely a little tight loose there off turn 2. All green so far here. As Diego might be pulling a slider here. Let's see if he slides up. He does not. Stays down. I want to remind you, of course, you saw the spoiler diecast logo there on the 41 car of Lucas Strayer. If you use the word GLSR as a discount code on their website, You'll get 5% off your checkout and free shipping on orders over $20. Make sure you type in GLSR, of course, at checkout at Spoiler Diecast website. As mentioned, clean and green so far, but we are about to have a battle here for the lead very shortly as Pluff being trailed by Peachin, down to 0.2 of a second. Dalton right there with him. As mentioned earlier, was Pluff wearing out the tires a little bit there, trying to run away, and we might have our answer here. The question's going to be, what is like the right strategy here? 134. I think you're looking at a 2-stop race there as Pluff about got the wall. So we split this up into 3 stints. You do that. That means you have to do, what, 45 laps? Gets you to lap 135. So do you pit at that point? Do you run the tires as far as you can go, which is probably 55 laps or so? It's going to be kind of interesting here how people handle this situation. As Peachin is there, as he has caught the back of the 39 car. Looks topside. Yeah, I think this might be Tyler yielding the lead here because he's rolling the bottom here. That car's going to get real tight right here. And Peachin's going to have the run topside. There he goes to the front, so move Sean Peachin to the lead as Dalton just caught the outside wall, and you saw how sticky it was. It just grabbed his car, it slowed him down big time. That's a product of this Kansas Speedway right there. Let's go back here because now we've got Stephen Miles joining the battle with Diego Sainz and Dylan Rosenberg. You see Ingram has gone by, now Strayer's starting to fall back, so this is the point. About 25 laps into a run, you start seeing what they call the comers and goers, those who started the race real fast, and now those guys are falling back, and the guys that saved their tires, they're the ones roaring up through the field. Miles looking low here on the 44. And Alfin, by the way, still has not come back, so unfortunately only running 13 laps here tonight for the 21 car. And we'll be out here in race number 2. Up there in that wall down to 5 cars, so this is about the worst the tires are going to feel right here. As you're into the long run, you're already 2 seconds off the pace. You're at lap number 30. I think this is where the tires come into play. And here's the one thing you have to look at. If you decide to only make this a 40-lap run, you pit at 40, you pit at 80, you still got to go 54 laps in that 3rd stint. I don't know if that's the right way to do this. Miles having a hard time getting around Sainz, and here comes Dalton to the bottom. After scruffing up that wall just a little bit there on the right side of his car, he's pulled his tires down and makes the pass on Pluff to go to the 2nd position. And These guys about a second ahead of Tuckness right now as they run in the top 3. Of course, this track built back in the 2000, around the year 2000, obviously made its debut in 2001. Jeff Gordon won in the first 2 races here. At that time, it was only a 15-degree bank track. And a few years later, they decided to repave it and redo it pretty much and put progressive banking through the corners, 18 to 20 degrees. And as you have seen the last couple of seasons, all it has done is become potentially the craziest mile-and-a-half track in all of racing. With the finishes here and the side-by-side racing, and kind of makes you wonder if we're going to get that same kind of finish here tonight. Maybe we'll have to see, but obviously we'll find out in about 100 laps. Right now, these guys continue. This is the battle zone right here. You see Miles did finally get around signs, but you see Strayer right there. You see 5 of Cam Ingram to 30, and now Alex Bryson starting to roll up here. As our first car comes to pit road, and probably not a surprise here, it is the 23 of Joey Ladisor on pit road, Mr. Off strategy, if you will, as he likes to kind of go off the rails a little bit with his strategy, which he's not in the playoffs, so what do you have to lose at this moment as he tries to become the best of the rest? But he is on pit road, and we'll track the 23 car and see what he does here on his pit stop. I assume it'll just be straight 4 tires and fuel. It is 15.2 as he leaves pit road. Tuckness past Plough for 3rd. And we're starting to see another battle for the lead potentially. As you look right up here, Sean Peachin has only got about 0.2 of a second on Jason Dalton. As they're going to come up on the lap car, Tyler Brewer. See smoke off of turn 4 there. I'm not sure if that's come from Ladisor's pit stop maybe, or if somebody spun. I didn't see any incident in my highlights or anything here, so not sure. Let's go back to this Hornet's nest because Brandon Maciejewski has now joined the battle after a little battle with Rosenberg. Here comes the 93 now, as you see Strayer continue to fall back. One thing you cannot do if you are somebody falling back at this moment, you can't panic. You can't throw yourself on the pit road and think, hey, I need tires right away, because then you kind of mess up your strategy. You got to figure out what the number is. What lap are you looking to come to pit road and when? And once you do, you got to follow your strategy and stay on it. Don't jump off the boat. Unfortunately, in this situation, you just got to kind of lick your wounds a little bit. Put yourself in the best position. Maciejewski slides up in front of Bryson. So Sean Peachin still up by 0.2 over Dalton. Tuckness 3rd, Fontaine 4th, and Tyler Plough to pit road. So the pole sitter is in at lap 40. I be honest with you, I explained the strategy earlier, but I didn't expect anybody to do this. Makes you wonder if that right front's toasted. Four tires and fuel as Tyler Brewer comes to pit road. And just a note, by the way, last time by, Joey Ladisor 31.61, leader 33.17, so a second and a half. As Tyler Pluff is sitting there. Uh-oh. I think the speeding police have caught the 39, unfortunately. So tough break there. You cannot do in the playoffs. Make a mistake when you have a field like this that does not have many people, you know, the usual 19 or 20 people starting a race. You make a mistake, and it could be bye-bye. It's going to be very easy to lose points, but very tough to gain them. Here's the rivalry, Miles and Fontaine, the friendly rivalry. A lot of respect amongst these two. They will race hard with each other for position. Miles off a championship last night. And Fontaine's in the wall. Scraped it up a little bit there, and that puts Miles up ahead. So a rare mistake from the 77 up there against the boards. Three wide, you see the fresh tires, a lot of sore coming in. Oh, and who's that tail whipping the wall? Rosenberg. Hold on, young man, as he does. As he continues to fight on, but unfortunately he's fallen all the way back to 13th now after starting in the top 10, top 5 to be exact. I'm sorry, top 10. He was up to 5th, but back to 13th now. All right, so now the pit window is officially open. If you plan on two-stopping this race, you can pit right now, pit at 90, and you'll get to the finish. So let's see who's going to be the first one to hang a left here. And this is a tough pit road to get onto, by the way. You have to hang a left and get over right there. That yellow line, or that white line is, and you have to be down to 45 miles an hour. See Tyler Brewer rejoin the track 5 laps down in that 40 car. Tuckness going to be the first one to pit road. Locks it down, and Maciejewski spins into the grass. And I'm not sure if that was a coming to pit road and somebody tagged him, or if that was just simply lost it there, but he's going to have a penalty on pit road now. As Tuckness overshoots the stall. And still having issues. And a 2-tire stop. That seemed all kinds of out of sorts for the 94 car. Interesting, as we continue green. I'm sure that was a whole sequence that Tuckness did not want. show you the sequence here as Maciejewski finally leaves the pits after a minute of a pit stop. What happened to the 93 here? He's down inside lane here. He's just coming in too hot. Fortunate there as here comes Peachin and Cam Ingram to pit road now. Lap 50. With Peachin coming to pit road, that puts Jason Dalton out front. The question going to be, will he come to pit road as Peachin's 7.8 second stop? That is fuel only for him. Of course, yes, you are limited on tires, but I would think with 2 stops, you would still have a set of tires left in the pits for the final stop, or for the extra, or not extra laps, but the end of the race if you need it. I'm baffled on that call. As here comes Diego to pit road now. I mean, unless somebody knows something I don't know on the strategy tonight. Falling off, what, 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds a lap in the run? I would think 4 tires and fuel is what I want. Oh, there goes a hood. Oh, whose that was? Well, somebody's missing a deck lid. I don't know who it is. Either way, Dalton still leads it here as he comes up on the back of Brewer with fresh tires. Now, these are the guys that looks like they're just going to run this tank all the way as far as you can go. As Fontaine and Strayer come to pit road. Looks like Dalton's peeling off here and coming to pit road in that 2 car. The leader's in, along with Miles and others, right at lap 55. So obviously you split this run, 55, 110, and 24 to go, unless you go long here, and then you split it into 2 40-lap runs. As Blaine Sparling now leads in the 59 car. As Jason Dalton left side tires. Miles with, I think, fuel only. As now Sparling comes to pit road. Tires and fuel 15.4. So anybody else kind of confused like I am right now, or am I just not doing the math right from being tired? Because everybody here is pitting between 45 and 57 for the most part, which, by the way, Joey Ladisor leads now after pitting at 34. If you take 4 tires and fuel at both of those stops, you still have 1 set of tires to get you to the end of the race. So Jonathan Tuckness is second now. He's actually about to be in a battle with Ladisor for the lead. Then it's going to be Stephen Miles third, Jason Dalton, and Sean Peach in your top 5. And the only one here up front on 4 tires is Ladisor. And your next 4-tire guy is Diego Sainz back into 6th position. Sainz past his Peach and right now. All right, so now it has come to my attention, and I've just thought this through a little bit more. There's the halfway yellow that has slipped my mind. Again, some of these guys are trying strategy to get to the halfway point, which is a bonus point 1, but 2, a caution will come out at 67 if we do not get a caution. This is what happens when you do 4 or 5 different leagues. You forget the couple of little caveats in different leagues. And that's the one I always forget, the cautions. So that is why you're seeing the strategies you are seeing here. In that case, I like Ladisor's attempt there even more. I'm going to have to make a note of myself for the next few weeks to remember that halfway lap. Which, by the way, is lap 67 for those who don't know. So it'd be 6 laps to go here. And basically, for those who are new to the league and not seen this before, if there's no yellow between the first lap and the 67th lap, or the halfway point, basically a caution is thrown at that moment to bring the field back together like a competition yellow. Should mention Cam Ingram has taken his number 5 behind the wall, so 2 cars out of the race now. Brandon Maciejewski set up to be the lucky dog, it looks like here. Things go the way they do at the end. There's Tuckness right there. He's got 3.6 seconds now over Ladisor. Sainz there in 3rd, Miles in 4th, and Dalton in 5th. Tyler Pluff trying to catch the back of the 94. If he can unlap himself, then this does hand Maciejewski the lucky dog. It puts Pluff back on the lead lap. Big move right here. So Pluff, after making that mistake, puts himself back into the race here. As everybody's pretty spread out for the most part here. Fontaine trying to hold off Rosenberg in the 91. But the only bonus point that gets handed out, by the way, is the point at the halfway to the leader. Nobody gets, like, NASCAR style points where you go from 10 down to 1, as Rosenberg makes the pass on Fontaine. Just the leader at the line will get himself a bonus point for leading in halfway as Thornton looks inside of Dalton. That's for the 5th position, so Jacob Thornton having a good run. There's 2 laps to go as Tuckness is trying to get to Pluff here to see if he can put him back a lap down. Pluff's like probably yelling out loud, throw the caution. He's like the little guy in Little Giants, the guy that wrapped himself up in padding or whatever. He's like, throw the caution, throw the caution, throw the caution. That's probably what he's doing right now. Is look at this. Lucas Strayer's actually about to go a lap down. Oh, look at this move. Tuckness playing good sport here as Pluff goes around Strayer, and then he just slows up. And he's going to keep Strayer on the lead lap. What a move there by Tuckness. Good sportsmanship there. That's cool. And the caution is out as Tuckness picks up a bonus point for the halfway point. And this is a competition yellow, which pretty much goes into my whole guessing fuel strategy a little bit ago. Just tossed it out the window, so sorry to waste everybody's 10 minutes there. As the caution comes out and the pace cars got a lot of power in it, apparently. So I would expect everybody here to come for 4 tires and fuel. And you're probably going to see some 2 tires here. All the leaders are in except for Blaine Sparling just pulled a fake and is going to stay out here. As Maciejewski ends up taking the lucky dog here, he'll be back on the lead lap himself. And looks like 4 tires and fuel for everybody here. And Sparling stays out, so Tuckness going to be the leader. As we'll come back to the green here momentarily. I'm actually going to step away for just a quick second. All right, 70 laps in the books. As Tuckness leads, let's I'm gonna reach down here and see, is he in chat here? We'll see who's all here and who's not. Ah, there's Tuckness right there. So let's talk to the driver of the 94 real quick and see what he's thinking as we come to this restart. Jonathan, you there, bud?
Yes, sir. Come on.
Oh, man. So, obviously, a little interesting strategy calls there, as, of course, once again, I forget that there's a halfway caution up until about 10 to go in that run, and I'm like, wait a minute, they got the halfway caution coming up. But I did notice you took left side tire, or you took right side tires only in that run there. So how does that affect your run into this race? Because now, obviously, that late race stage, if we get a yellow per se after the final stop, could be interesting.
We talked to you a little bit that this place is just the 2 things working for me here. People that drive with some smarts, and it's really easy to get spread out here. And so I feel confident that everybody's going to continue to race the way they've been racing, and that being P1 right here, being able to save, maybe take 2 again later, and just bank on this thing going green.
All right, so. Wish you the best of luck. Obviously, you're getting ready to go green with 63 to go. So let's see if you can bring one home and get to the final 4.
Hey, let's try it.
All right, buddy. Jonathan Tuckness, the leader. Let's get him to his channel.
Hey, Pasa.
Hey, Pasa. Sí, senor.
Mufasa.
CMR. That's that channel. I'm trying to remember where he's going. There he goes. He's down there. All right. So as we get ready to go green, I'm going to quiet the mic down and let you guys enjoy it. The sounds of the Xfinity car here on iRacing and GLSR as we go and turn it up here on the Captain Esports Network. Signs and Tuckness going to battle here for the lead. As Signs has taken it. Tuckness to second, Jason Dalton, Alex Bryson, Sean Peach in your top five. And you heard Tuckness with the strategy. Maybe 2 tires is another option again later. I think everybody's still got 2 sets of tires to work with here for the finish of this race. The 2 cars that Tuckness, well, one he allowed on the lead lap, the other one got past him clean. There they are, right in the middle of this pack right now. Tyler Pluff and Lucas Strayer all right here in the battle for 8th as Pluff moves all the way to the apron, trying to get what he can get right now. The one caution, and that was literally the competition yellow at the halfway point as Miles now looks to get around Tuckness in that 94 car. As Jacob Thornton with an issue as he is spun over in turn 3. And we stay green, nobody's around him. And it looks like Maciejewski might have been involved in this, as he's got heavy front damage. No caution, so let's see what happened here. Oh, Ladisor and Maciejewski, didn't they two get an argument? Oh, and Brandon gets into Thornton. Didn't those two have a little argument last week? As Thornton comes to pit road 2, let's see this vantage point again. And here's that multi-groove racing of Kansas coming into play. And we stay green. So Signs out to a half-second lead over Dalton, Peach, and Tuckness. And then this group of cars right here battling for 5th. It's amazing how, 17 laps or 14 laps after the halfway caution, the two cars that literally just got around Tuckness or stayed in front of him are now battling him for position. Of course, you wonder if the 41 and 39 are maybe burning their stuff up maybe on the outside. Yeah, I'm not sure. Guess we'll have to watch the ring later. I'm sure that'll get going after this one. And these two with a great battle right here. You see Strayer would buy some Tuckness, maybe saving his tires a little bit, which leads me to think that, yeah, there could be a little two-tire move again coming here. Because why else would you back off here other than to save your tires for a long run? As up front, here comes Dalton for the lead. Not able to complete the pass as Signs holds on. Here's your top four right there in the picture. Then Strayer, then Pluff, then Tuckness, then Bryson. And then here comes Fontaine, the winner from North Wilkesboro. And one thing we should mention, if Fontaine wins tonight, then it really doesn't have too much of an effect on the playoff standings for the Final Four. Because remember, there's 4 races in the first round. So basically what that means, we go back to the old format where the 4th driver will get in on points. That would be the only really effect it has. It will keep a new winner from clinching tonight. Now Pluff and Strayer, the teammates, racing for the 6th position here. Pluff got stuck in the wall. And that allows Strayer and Tuckness to go by as the old sticky wall grabs another one. Speaking of stickiness, how would you like to have good stickiness to your pedals from your shoes? That's called grip, right? You can get good shoes that grip very well at 40racewear.com. Make sure you check them out today. Your chance to get yourself a set of shoes for the racing and also some gloves. I've got shoes right here behind me that I get the race in when I can. You can do the same. Go to 40racewear.com. Appreciate Jim Herrick and his crew of hardworking people that continue to release new products and stuff. Check out and see what they have in their arsenal. Strayer and Tuckness battle for 4th. Signs playing defense here with Dalton as they race very hard for the lead. You see Miles starting to creep into the picture there, 4th spot. Ride with Miles. He's going to clear Peachin. He's going to clear him by a lot, so you wonder if Peachin got the wall, maybe. As now Peachin and Tuckness about to get into each other. That could have been an interesting situation. As I think Dalton just got the wall. As we get closer and closer to the end of this race, the racing picking up, the mistakes starting to happen. And Miles moves to second. So as I look back at some of the standings from this season, of course, in the GLSR Downrange Transport Premier Series. We look at tracks that might be similar to Kansas, and I look right up here at the first race of the schedule back in March. At Auto Club Speedway, Stephen Miles going to victory lane in that race. Of course, the 2 Mile Auto Club Speedway, a little bit bigger, but obviously races a lot like this one. You know, I scroll down here a little bit. Of course, went to Phoenix, Martinsville, Pocono. Then he went to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tuckness went to victory lane in that race. As I look in the standings, Brandon Alfin second. Stephen Miles finishes third. So Miles obviously has got a knack for the 1.5 mile and 2 mile tracks here in the series. Diego Sainz, of course, winning in Michigan, which is the sister track to Auto Club Speedway. And when you look up here at the front right now, Sainz leads, Miles second. Tuckness up there in fourth. He was your winner at Charlotte. So, I mean, obviously the guys on the 1.5 mile, 2 mile tracks that run pretty well in GLSR, those are the guys that are running up here at the front in this race. And again, appreciate the viewers for hanging out with us tonight. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you're not so new, we appreciate you coming back and hanging out. As we have 40 laps to go next time by. And Zanetti20, a.k.a. Jeremy Frere, asked if they can make it on fuel. The answer, no. Everybody went about 55 laps in the first run. And I would expect everybody to do about the same. Not be surprised if they split this in half, like Ladasor did. He made up some pretty good track time, I think, with that move. By splitting the run in half, which would be 33.5 laps, or 34, if you will. Fontaine, Tyler Pluff all right here, and Alex Bryson. Pluff starting to fall back a little bit more, so you wonder if he did burn his stuff up a little bit. As Dylan Rosenberg, somebody might be listening to the stream because he's coming to pit road right now with 37 laps to go. Lap time's fallen off about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. More tires and fuel, and Rosenberg pulls away. So what he needs is this race to stay green now. Miles has caught the back of Sainz. Tuckness has caught the back of Jason Dalton. So we now got a battle for the lead and a battle for third. Lane Sparling on pit road from the 13th position. Of course, he was the last one to pit there under caution. And Miles got him. So right at lap 100. The 24 to the front. And you see Dalton holding off Tuckness right now for the 3rd position. The question, though, when do these guys come to pit road, and what do? Do you take 2 tires? Do you go 4 tires? I think with the fall off, you have to do 4, right? As Tuckness going to be in now. And he locks it down. Peach in the pit road now. Should be 4 tires and fuel for both of these guys. Now, Tuckness did kind of tease earlier, 2-tire stop again. I wouldn't think he would do it here, maybe later in the race, but not here. See, right side tires going on. He's 2 tires, he did it. Wow. .2 as he pulls away. As Dalton and Strayer now on pit road. I don't know if I like that call from Tuckness, but the man's got 1,000,000 wins too, so he's a little better than I am. I'll give him the credit there. He knows what he's doing. That's 4 tires and fuel, and both these drivers pull away, so that leaves Miles out there with signs. Fontaine, Bryson Pluff, Cedric Ingram, Dalton Carter, and Joey Ladouceur yet to pit. As playoff driver Dalton Carter comes to pit road. Of course, as I mentioned, for those wondering who the playoff drivers are, if you look up on the numbers, you see the green. In every number, that number means that those players are in the playoffs. See the top 5. All those guys competing. Cedric Ingram, the first of the not playoff drivers, in the 6th position right now. As Fontaine's going to come to pit road. Dalton takes off 14.8. Kind of a fun story here. Dalton, a big Braves fan. I read yesterday that they had ludicrous bobblehead night. I couldn't help but wonder if this was 20 years ago. Four tires for Fontaine, and he'll pull away here. Tuckness is very fast. A lot faster than me. Only thing I'm fast at is running to the refrigerator. Miles 1.1 seconds up on Signs, and it's 4 seconds back to Bryson. And then Tyler Pluff, who Bryson just passed a few laps ago. And then it's Cedric Ingram, Joey Ladouceur. Those are the top 6, and they have yet to pit out of the cars that are on the track. Here's a big pass right here. Two cars battling their lap down right now, but they've both made their pit stops as Dalton looks to the inside of Peachin. might pinch Peach in there behind the lap car, and he sure does. Oh, no, maybe not. He's going to split him 3 wide. And Peachin is going to lose the momentum there, and Dalton takes the position away. Miles right now, 32.80 for him, 33.12 for Signs. As Diego's going to come to pit road right now, I was about to say Dalton and those guys all 31-second laps. 31.75, 31.90s, 60s, different types of numbers there in the 31. So either way, they're a second and a half faster each and every lap. As I mentioned, Signs on pit road. Here comes the 44 in. You start to wonder what other tricks these guys have up their sleeves. Saw 2 tires from Tuckness as Signs fall for the 2 tires as he go 4. And he's going for the 4 tires as Stephen Miles on pit road now. Bryson, Cam Ingram, or Cedric Ingram on pit road. For Miles, 14.8 for Bryson, 14.6 for Cedric. As we look for the leader, it's Tyler Pluff right now. He's over in turn 1 and 2. And the first of the cars that pitted is going to be Jonathan Tuckness now. As you look for the 94, he is out here in turn 4 by himself. He's going to have a pretty good lead over these guys. With 23 to go, how much later do you wait to come to pit road to get the tires? If you're Pluff or Ladasor, you waiting for a caution to come out. We've only had the one so far, and that was for the halfway break. Signs makes the pass on Carter. Of course, Dalton yet to come to pit road. And should mention Miles did beat Signs out of pit road by 1.5 seconds, so that would be advantage 24 with that 1 lap. Question though. Can Dalton, can Peachin, can Strayer, can Fontaine, can Miles, can they catch Tuckness here, who's got the 2 tires on his car? Is obviously, yes, they're behind Pluff and Ladasor, but Tuckness has 2.2 seconds over Dalton, 3.2 over Peachin, 5.2 over Strayer, 7.5 over Fontaine, and it's 10 seconds back to Stephen Miles with 20 laps to go, coming to 19 to go this time by. Diecast fans, a reminder, you can check out Spoiler Diecast right now for a pretty good deal. If you type in GLSR at checkout, you'll get 5% off of your order and free shipping. Going to SpoilerDiecast.com, pretty good deal right there. Pluff comes to pit road from the 2nd position. The pole sitter's had an eventful night, speeding on pit road, got stuck in the wall. He's had it all happen here tonight. And 14.8. As that hands the lead to this guy right here, Joey Ladasor. Of course, they went green around lap 70. And we're at lap 116 right now, so just about to complete his 50th lap. And he's still got a couple laps he could run here. And knowing Joey, he's going to run this thing bone dry before he comes to pit road. See Maciejewski back on track after his issues. He is 17th right now, obviously about 25 laps down. And is at a point in this race where he will unfortunately no longer be able to gain any positions in this race. Now, here's an interesting situation. The two cars that got together were the 93 and the 23, and as you see, look who's right behind Maciejewski I just caught. Joey Ladasseur. These two are, well, hanging out here. Now, Brandon does have fresher tires, and you see him start to drive away a little bit here, so it's not like he's holding them up or anything. Diego Sainz passes Lucas Strayer back here for 7th. 15 laps to go. Let's show you again where everybody is. Here's Ladasseur leading this race. He's got 5.2 seconds over Jonathan Tuckness. There he is in the turn 1 and 2. It is another 1.5 seconds back to Jason Dalton, who pitted 1 lap later and has 4 tires compared to Tuckness's 2. Sean Peachin pitted at the same lap as Tuckness and with 4 fresh tires, and the guy that passed Peachin just now was one that pitted 10 laps later and has the freshest tires out of the whole bunch as Miles goes to 4th. And he has knocked it down to 7.8 seconds to the lead. Miles might be the one on the winning strategy right now. The way he is knocked down almost 15 seconds in 7 laps. Sean Peachin, 5th in the race right now. He is about a second behind Miles now and about 9/10 above Sainz, who is in the 6th spot. He's got Fontaine there behind him by 0.3 of a second. There's Lucas Strayer, 8th position for the 41 car. He is 10 seconds back from the lead. Alex Bryson there in the 9th position, 12.5 seconds back. As AB continues to run there. Dalton Carter, top 10 run for the 3. And again, this is that tough part I talked about for drivers that are in the playoffs. Is you need somebody to have some bad luck, and when you only have 19 cars starting a race, that bad luck's going to come slim and none, so you have to try to go outperform to get into the final 4. And Carter's going to need some help here as Joey Ladasseur is on pit road. Notice he's having some blinking issues here. Miles has moved the second past Dalton. It is down to 1.1 seconds from the 24 to the 94. Makes you wonder, that these drivers overthink it and not just do 4 tires and fuel here. 9 to go. And Miles 0.8 of a second faster that time by, and here he comes. And there he goes. Miles to the front with 8 to go this time by. Looking to get his second win of the season. Question is toughness safe enough to be able to get to him tire wise? It's going to be tough to do when you only have 2 and he has 4. But you never know. One mistake by any of these drivers could change their whole entire fortune, as we have 7 laps to go. Let's go back to Fontaine, who's starting to catch Peachin for 5th. Thornton gets out of the way of these guys. Odyssey and the fresh tires going through here. 6 laps to go. He's going to catch Dylan Rosenberg. Probably not enough time to get to Blaine Sparling for 12th. A great attempt there. Strategy-wise, especially by a driver that was involved in an incident just a little bit ago. As Peachin and Fontaine, this is the battle here. As we see the battle with 5 to go and the battle for 5th here. And how many times I can say battle in one sentence? As I mentioned, next week it is Darlington Raceway. So you think running the wall is tough here at Kansas? Wait till next week when you're on an even slicker track and you are right up against the wall the whole entire time. We'll be with you at 8:45 next Wednesday night for race number 3 of 5 in the playoffs here for GLSR and the Downrange Transport Premier Series. Laps to go in 2 weeks back. It was Sam Fontaine who put himself into the Final Four with a win. Where Sam, one of the winningest drivers, if not the winningest driver in this series history. Multiple championships, plenty of wins, and continues to add that resume to appearances in the Final Four and a chance to win a championship, as he'll have that shot coming up in about 4 weeks. But there's one guy last season that was able to beat that 77 to the line. And it is the guy that comes off of turn 2 right now with the lead, and now in the wall is Stephen Miles. Here comes Ladisor with the fresher tires to unlap himself with a blink. As Stephen Miles comes off turn 4, and we'll see the final lap. White flag in the air. Miles 1.5 miles away from a chance to win another championship and go back-to-back. Miles started P2 outside the front row, fell all the way back to the edge of the top 10, and roared his way back as he always does, and used 4 tires on his pit stop to put himself in the championship 4 yet again. Miles clicks his heels and wins at Kansas. Tuckness gonna get second, Dalton third. Signs and Sean Peach in your top 5. And how about that? Only the one caution for the halfway break. Miles going to go to the grass as tradition. So 2 races, 2 drivers. Next week, Darlington. The final week, Atlanta, the old Atlanta. Can we have 4 winners in 4 races? Go to the final 4. That'd be kind of cool. He's going to do himself a Polish victory lap. As he does this, we'll take a look at the finishing results as Miles wins it. Look at that, top 10, all top 10 playoff drivers. And you're talking about it being tough to get to the final 4. Look at that. Miles, Tuckness, Dalton, Signs, Peachin, Fontaine, Bryson, Pluff, Strayer, Carter. Your top 10. Then drivers that weren't in the playoffs: Cedric Ingram, Blaine Sparling, Joey Ladouceur, Dylan Rosenberg, Jacob Thornton. Your top 15. Now, there are a couple names in the playoffs that did not have good runs tonight, and that one being Brandon Alfin, 19th position behind Maciejewski and Cam Ingram as Miles out there ramping now into the grass. While he does a burnout, for those watching tonight, if you liked what you saw, should invite you tomorrow night. We got a new league we're going to be debuting. So make sure you come and join us tomorrow night from Auto Club Speedway. But right now, let's focus on the drivers that finished in the top 3. And let's go to our 3rd place finisher, Jason Dalton. A great run for him. And getting another top 3 finish, working on those points each and every week. Jason, congratulations on a great race tonight, man.
Thanks, man. I needed it after last week.
Yeah, I was going to say, just a solid effort, man. You ran up front the whole entire time, led a few laps, and just put together a smooth race.
Yeah, I just tried to have that was my goal, to come in and get a top 3 when if I could. So I accomplished my goal. But last week, I was fast at Wilkesboro and just kept getting tangled up and stuff. Never got a chance to get back to the. Like I said, put myself in a hole again. Now I got to dig back out. So we'll see what happens these next couple races. But just try to build on this, keep the momentum going.
How important is it for you to just be consistent then, especially now when you look at a race like tonight that has top 10 finishers being all 10 of the 12 points players?
Yeah, I got to finish consistent. Sure. I mean, I need top 3s, but realistically, I probably need to get a win to get in. Starting so far back and everybody having the bonus point advantage over stuff. So it was going to be an uphill battle from the get-go, but like I said, last week, took a step backwards. Hopefully these next 2 or 3 races here, I can keep top 3, maybe sneak a win in. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know, man. Well, great job tonight. Send some shout-outs to who you like to.
Yeah, just all my friends and family that watch and support, and all the KJ82 guys. You for doing the broadcast and stuff. So we'll just hit it next week and see what happens. Hopefully we talking to you again.
Keep it out of the wall, Darlington, buddy.
That ain't going to happen. Just try to keep it as smooth as possible.
I'm sensing already. Dalton's going to be putting 2x4s in the side of his car to keep that car solid. Old school.
For sure.
Nice job, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
All right, buddy. Jason Dalton finishing in the 3rd position tonight for KJD2. Good run on his end. And second place finisher tonight, Jonathan Tuckness, who you might wonder might be kind of beating himself up. I got to ask, you did the 2 tires like we talked about. Was that a move that maybe you look back, it's like, man, I should have done 4?
100%. Just talking to Steven about him waiting an extra 10 laps to pit and taking 4, and that was worth every bit of 2/10 a lap towards the end of the race. So I'm really proud of him. I like him and his buddies, and you know, if there's anybody else that's not on my team, I'm rooting for it, Steven. So I'm really glad he got that win. But yeah, I played myself. I pit too early, and the 2 tires was probably the call, but I should have waited 10 more laps.
So obviously the good thing, I guess, with this, obviously, I guess kind of a rocky start, so to say, for the playoffs, is the fact that you've racked up so many points in the regular season. That's got to at least be some kind of positive out of this.
I just know there's a couple more tracks coming that I am dog water at, Chris, and I was really hoping that if I snuck this one, you know, I didn't really think I'd bring much to the table here, and then I got to looking at the numbers. I was like, I could probably win this thing, and I was like, if I do, then I can suck at Darlington next week. And I was like, now I gotta go learn how to get around Darlington. So, you know, I appreciate the season points, but you know, I know what it takes, and I didn't do it today.
Well, I can hear the disappointment. That's totally understandable, and that kind of scares me because knowing you're liable to show up at Darlington and lap the field next week with some practice. So you got that kind of talent. But great job, and send some shout-outs.
I appreciate you, Chris, Captain Esports. You guys do a great job. One of the best broadcasts, like hands down. This league is really, I don't want to use a bad term, taking me under their wing, but everybody in here has been super kind to me. I mean, really haven't butted heads with anybody. If I ask questions, I get them answered right away. So I really appreciate the league. D-Dub button boxes, best button box on the fly, and of course McConey setup shop all over the car, best setups on iRacing.
So I just actually talked about a league that I will be starting doing a few of the races as of tomorrow night, and then I get a message from one of the guys that says here that they know you and they know Peyton Johnson, and of course my reply to them were, poor guy.
Hey.
Austin Hakes.
Oh, Austin's the reason that I got around Kansas better than I should, because when I used to practice with him, he knows how much I'd knock the fence down, and so he was in my ear this entire race going, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that.
Well, do me a favor, trace Darlington like Kansas, because it's about the same almost, except you got a lot tighter of a groove.
I think I'm going to eat too much and get upset stomach and go to bed early that night.
Pepto-Bismol will help you on that. Great job tonight, man.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
You too, buddy. Jonathan Tuckness, the second place finisher. I'm not going to do the whole spiel in the song. Anyways, good job on his part. And how about the winner tonight? Stephen Miles going to victory lane, puts himself back where he was at this spot last season, and goes to victory lane here at the Kansas Speedway. Something about the 1.5 and 2 mile tracks here, but Miles, you outfox the field here. You go and wait about 10 laps after most of the pit stops happen. You put 4 tires on it, and you come all the way back from nearly, I think it was about 20 seconds at one point, or 10 seconds. It was one of the two, but you come roaring back there, take the lead, and you're back in the back in the final 4, going for another championship.
Yeah, man, it's a sigh of relief, man. I ain't wanting to be another Michigan, man. Had a good little run in practice, and I figured some things out. Didn't want to really show my hand early, and there at the beginning, I was just testing some things out, wanting to see how the tires would fall off and what line would be the best one. And me and AB was there just testing things out, and then I was like, oh snap, it's a halfway caution coming up, so it's a good thing we did it. And man, we lost so much ground, and when I seen how good my car was then to drive back up to the field and get to the top 5, I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna pit, don't take no tires, and get up there with these guys and race the race they're racing, because usually I like to race my race, but at this track, you'll get freight train on the outside even if you're trying to stay on that bottom to save, and for some reason the outside wasn't burning your tires up like that with me there at the end. So I don't know if I outfoxed the fox, but I just did what my instincts told me, and I've been racing every single day. And some told me when he did that, just to worry about who's in second. And when Tuckness ran me down to unlap himself, I was trying to pit right then, but unfortunately he was underneath me, so Diego pitted that lap, and I don't know how I got in front of him. I didn't want to mess with my fuel or nothing because my car was just so good. I didn't want to tighten it up. So it was a fun race. It was my type of race, man. Long green flag runs.
That's the way you like it. And it worked out for you here this evening. Now, obviously, I see I'm not the only one that's having a lack of remembrance of the halfway break. But needless to say, man, that's got to be tough when you realize you make a mistake like that, and for it to work out in your favor there in the end. I guess the good thing is this race didn't have any more cautions after that, because then it might have been interesting.
Yeah, it would have. I mean, I would have just stayed up to the wall. I mean, it was
Right.
it was so hard to pass, like any mile and a half right now on the bottom. So I was just gonna try to restart up to the top. I was telling Bryson that he was thinking we were gonna get a caution. I wasn't worried at all because my car was just so fast at the beginning and the end of the run when I wanted it to. So there at the end with Tuckness, man, he been winning these races the same way, man, outsmarting us. So no surprise there, man. I look up to him, man, and he's a great racer. And I know, uh, I mean, he's still gonna be in the top 3 or 4 after this point standings race, and we still got 2 more races before Homestead. But like I wanted to do last week, man, I wanted to not have to worry about that and just get focused on that last race with Fontaine and have a duel again, a rematch.
Does it ease the pressure going to 2 worn-out surfaces like Darlington and the old Atlanta next 2 weeks?
I love Atlanta. That's somewhat of a home track, so I'm excited for that. Darlington, I've been doing a little behind the scenes with that, little practicing with some people, and I feel confident with that. But me just trying to work on my craft, man, with all around tracks with road course, short tracks, and a lot of people starting to notice. But I feel like I'm getting stronger at those tracks, so just trying to do a overall of my game, man, and hopefully they could deal with me every race.
There you go, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations. Throw some shout-outs out.
Man, shout out Laser Racing. Uh, Shout out my teammates Alvin. Unfortunately, his connection dropped, and he gotta run hard, man, the next 2 weeks and try to win and get in. Shout out to Bryson for a good run. Shout out to Corey Alvin, Alvin's dad, who got a good laugh out of me wrecking in Michigan. I heard, so appreciate him and all the fans watching. Appreciate you for doing what you do, man. Best broadcaster, all the admins for putting on this good show. We had a good turnout with 17, 18 cars and no cautions except for the competition caution. So kudos to them and thank God to my girlfriend and that'll be it.
Sounds like somebody needs to put Dale's Pools and Spa on your car to pay
Yeah, I
back.
told Alvin we need to do that. We need to do that.
Nice job, man. Well, congratulations. Welcome back to the Final Four. Looking forward to it in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Stephen Miles, the winner here tonight. As he said, I guess the quote would be, he outfoxed the fox when it's all over with here. And congratulations to him on going to victory lane here tonight. And yeah, big shout out to all the guys. Only the one caution. Almost had a second caution, but they found a way to work their way through it. And great job by all the drivers. I'm just looking to see. I think the results might actually be up here because of the caution-free race. Or caution-free, the one caution to halfway break. And yeah, points are up. Now, be a second here to get this saved, and I will get it for you, but I will obviously prerequisite with this. Obviously, the way it's set up is by points. So you're going to see Tuckness is actually the points leader still. But obviously, with the winning get in part, you're going to notice that Fontaine and Miles are obviously second and third, but they are in with the wins category here. So give me a second. And here we are, your point standings going into next week at Darlington. So as Tuckness still leads by 5 officially over Fontaine, but that doesn't matter. Fontaine got a win. Miles has a win. So those two are in to the Final Four. So basically from there, it's Tuckness signs. Those two are in right now on points. And how about the guy who is sitting in 5th? Could Dalton Carter literally walk his way into the Final Four? The underdog story potentially coming into play here after tonight. So who knows? This could be interesting if Dalton Carter could leave his home track in Atlanta and into the Final Four come 2 weeks from now. That would be something to talk about right there. Talk about the biggest upset in league history. That could be interesting. So looking forward to seeing that. But next week it is Darlington, Wednesday night. We'll have it at 8:45 Eastern Time again. A debuting league tomorrow night. We hope you can come and join us tomorrow night. And a little bit later start than the usuals. We'll be on at 9:15 Eastern Time. It's good, just a simple, quick, distant race. Should be a lot of fun. A little 6-week series here to broadcast, so should be some fun on a Thursday night. But let's go get some rest and enjoy the rest of our Wednesday night. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation.
From the Captain Esports Network.